Back to one. Safe. Welcome back to Obstreperous One YouTube channel. I'm your host, Matt. Tonight I'm here to bring you some footage from a match shot this past weekend. That will be the 2nd of November, 2024. It was the Tactical Sniper Series Designated Marksman match. TSS is put on by The Proving Grounds, owned by Chad and Sarah Wylie. I'll get into a little more detail about what that means and what this actual match is as we go along. What I could say is there were 8 great stages put on this weekend. They ranged, I want to say the closest rifle shot was about 200 yards, maybe 220, and pushed out to around 650, somewhere in that vicinity. Before I go too much detail, let me run over what the TSS Designated Marksman match was. So rifle shots are supposed to be between 100 and 700 yards. They're supposed to be between 5 and 8 stages in each of the TSS matches. And pistol is supposed to go from 12 to 50 yards. Now, to give you a quick breakdown, there's 4 divisions in Tactical Sniper Series. Gas Gun Open Division, the Gas Gun Tactical Division, a 223 or 308, Bolt Gun Open Division, and a Bolt Gun Tactical Division, being 223 or 308 as well. Pistols are all in one division or open division. There are no prone or tripod shots unless that is dictated during the stage for all. And you'll see there's, I believe, one stage where there was a tripod positioned. All competitors had to use the same tripod at the same height. There was no raising, lowering, adjusting, changing things. Use the same bag off the same tripod. There's kind of a big emphasis in this sport to not game the stages. And I'll tell you what, having shot a lot of competitive venues, that was pretty refreshing. I like to see that is a rule and that you will get your sight pictures, your parallax, and figure it out on the clock. I don't like when competitors walk up there and they have their solutions all, I won't say they're firing solutions prepared, because you get a chance to prepare those, but basically the gun is set and they're sitting there and it's shoot ready, stand by, beep, boom. Like that just doesn't, to me, gather the spirit of the sport, where I want to show up and I want you to show up and I want us to move and battle through these different positions and these different events and see who's the best shooter at the end of the day, who can build positions, engage shots, move to another position, engage those shots, right? That's what we're really looking for in these sports. Every stage, as you'll see, I was able to get footage of all 8 stages. Some's a little better footage than others. There's some positional issues with getting the camera up so close on a few of them. But generally, the positions, the stages are all things that you would encounter in the wild. Maybe off of an ATV, ball, fallen tree position. Maybe it's off of a picnic table. Maybe it's off of the bed of a truck, off the roof of a truck. Another was off of a couple of spindles, just random spindles sitting out, a tripod, a couple of tree limbs. These things are awesome. Like when you go out and you shoot a match like this and all the competitors have to bring their A game, they have to follow in underneath the dictated guidelines. It really creates a level playing field where the skill of the shooter comes to the light. Let's go. One other new thing, was able to pick up a SIG M17 Safariland ALS for the Brower SIG M17 combo. Awesome handgun to use. Can't get a better holster. And I've added the OTG Defense. It's called the Nub. If you Google OTG, the Nub, Safariland ALS, there's a whole lot of things you can Google with it. Probably wouldn't just Google nubs. I feel like that's probably not a good idea. You'll find this adapter for your Safariland holster, and I can talk more about Safariland holsters on another video, but it makes the activation of that lock almost just automatic when you grip the handgun properly. I put it on a QLS plate and onto my war belt, so we had no issues with guns falling out. Everything was nice and safe. We had to run. I had to reholster in a hurry. The holster's kind of binding up because it's brand new. I'm going to heat it up with a heat gun, and it'll be perfect. Oh shit, in the hole. That was nice. Well, that said, I shot the Old South Gunworks KGM suppressor, Old South Gunworks barrel, quarter-minute arms, built upper, SLR handguard, Harris 69 bipod on an Arca lock or Arca rail here. The biggest change was the optic. So I went ahead and threw on my US Optics Foundation Series 5 to 25. I think I pretty much lived between 10 and I think the highest here was about 18, 20 power at the end of the day when I needed some more precise engagements on a real small target. Still running the Magpul stock, locks in there nice and snug. Got a great cheek weld to it. Geisley trigger. You can still hear the brass in the brass bag. Got the little bad lever. I didn't shoot myself or anyone else with it. I think that's kind of quite crazy. Had the dot up here, but none of these targets were close enough or generous enough to engage with the dot. So we pretty much stuck with the scope all weekend. And I can talk a little bit more in a second about how I dialed and engaged. So I mentioned using a combination throughout the weekend of dialing and holding. I thought this would be something good to put out on the channel. Generally, whenever I'm taking a look at my engagements, I'll go and write down the closest target and the farthest target. And usually there's some targets in between, near, far, something in between, right? So I'll write down on my data board my near target, the data for it. For example, 1.2 mils. My far target, data for it, 2.2 mils. If I dial 1.2 mils on the scope, then I only have to hold at max 1 mil for the farthest shot. If I wanted to dial it, I have the option to dial it. I write that down on my data card as well. But that's really, it seems to me, the way that all the top competitors in this event, at least, or this series, were shooting. They would dial their near data and they would hold their far data and engage those in between. It's critical to know if you have targets in between. One's a 0.2, one's a 0.8, then your far shot's a 1 mil. Make sure that you know exactly what you're supposed to hold at each of those targets. And also having, I usually write it down in a grid format, target 1, target 2, target 3, target 4, however they're labeled. There was actually some labels next to some targets this weekend, and I use those labels to keep me on track. So I'd look down and I'd see this is target kilo, this is target Oscar, Papa, whatever it is. It's going to line up with my holds right there. 33. All right. Take that up a little bit. Back to 1. Target 2. Yeah. Fuck. Use a trusty Geisley magazine. I did use some blue tape that I had handy. That's what I usually write my data on, and I'll show y'all how I do that in another video. But I threw it on the base of this because I had switched to some 62 grain bullets towards the end of the day. I was running low on 80s and ran out of them, and ran low on 88s and I ran out of them. And 62s have been really good for this gun. And we had a 2-inch plate to engage at 370 yards. And I hit that bad boy with these. I sent a plethora of these, but we got our hit. Impact. Safe.
Right every time.
Oh shit, nope, we're gonna stay off that one. Back to the first target. Thank you. Closing here, I was able to walk away with 7th place overall in the match finish and 4th place in my division, which was open division gas gun. Was a little disappointed. I had expected to perform slightly better. Had 2 really bad stages. The other stages, had those 2 not cost me, were competitive times with the other competitors, the other top 3 people in front of me. But again, that's what these events are about. You go out there, you test yourself, you test your gear, you learn how you can improve things. And 100% of the time, when you go in and shoot these matches in person, you're beating all the people on the couches. Thank you once again for joining me here at Obstreperous One YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this, I would recommend you subscribe. Also share and like any of these videos that you can. Helps us out with the YouTube algorithm, and I enjoy personally receiving comments or messages from each and every one of you, giving me feedback on what you enjoyed about today's video or what you'd like to see in the future. And until next time, stay obstreperous.